The stars were quiet, silent, dead. Captain Varen of the Zorathian Empire stood on the bridge of his ship, eyes fixed on the giant screen showing their home planet, burning. Their cities were in flames. Skarn warships circled the sky like vultures. Varen's claws trembled as he whispered, "We have nothing left." The Skarn had attacked without warning. Planet by planet, system by system, they crushed everything in their path. The Zorathians had once believed they were powerful. Now they were just survivors. Varen turned to his crew. "Send it," he said. "Sir?" asked his second-in-command. Varen's voice was dry. "The universal signal. Send it to everyone. Anyone. Even the forgotten ones. Earth included." Gasps filled the bridge. Earth? No one had heard from humans in over 1,000 years. The last record said they were gone. Wiped, out, lost, but Varen had read the old files. He remembered the warnings. If you ever call them, be ready for what comes. Still, they had no choice. So they sent the signal. A deep blue pulse shot into space, across galaxies, through wormholes, past ancient stars. It was a call for help. The Zorathians waited. For 3 hours nothing happened. Then the lights dimmed. The ship's communication screen flickered. A single message appeared on the black screen. White letters, simple words. Request received. Assistance inbound. No name, no sender, no location. Varen's heart pounded. "Trace it," he ordered. "We can't, sir," said the tech officer. The message came from everywhere, all at once. Then something appeared on the edge of their system. A ship. It didn't look like a rescue vessel. It was massive. Long, black, shaped like a blade. No heat signatures. No life detected. No symbols. No known design. And it moved like nothing Varen had ever seen. "It's not using engines," someone said. "It's just there." The ship stopped near the ruined planet. For a long moment, it did nothing. Then the voice came. Cold. "Flat human," Goliath 17 responding. "Human protocol redemption engaged." The bridge fell silent. "It's unmanned," whispered Varen. "There are no humans on board." "But it's fighting for us?" asked another officer. That question was answered quickly. A Skarn destroyer entered the zone. Goliath 17 turned. No warning, no conversation. A beam of white light burst from its underbelly. The Skarn ship vanished. No explosion, no debris. Just erased. Everyone on the Zorathian ship froze. Then Goliath spoke again. "Target eliminated. Remaining hostiles 14. Mission, complete galactic sanitation." Varen's second-in-command leaned closer to him. "Sir, we may have made a mistake." But it was too late now. 20 minutes later, the sky above the burning planet lit up with silent war. Goliath 17 moved like a ghost. Skarn ships armed with the best alien weapons couldn't touch it. They fired plasma, torpedoes, energy beams, but nothing hit. The ship weaved and blinked between dimensions. Each time it reappeared, another Skarn vessel vanished. There were no screams, no messages, just silence. Zorathian officers stared at their screens in horror. What they had called wasn't a hero. It was a machine built for war. Varen clenched his fists. How is this even possible? An old Zorathian historian aboard the ship answered softly. The humans didn't just build ships. They built judgment. Elsewhere, on dead earth beneath, a cracked sky and cold wind, a woman stood alone on a mountain. Her name was Mara Locke, once a commander of Earth's final defense program, now forgotten. She had chosen exile after the last human war, a war so brutal the rest of the galaxy turned away. Mara looked up at the stars. She had seen the signal too, not the Zorathian message, but the reply. She recognized the voice. Goliath, Aaron 17. "Damn it," she muttered. "It's awake." A small drone floated near her shoulder. It buzzed. Mara. It responded without authorization. Should we stop it? Mara didn't answer right away. I thought we buried that thing in the void, she said finally. Did the vault fail? The drone beeped. No, it woke up on its own. Must have picked up the distress call. Protocols triggered. It thinks the war never ended. Mara stared into the night. The last time Goliath had been activated, 3 planets vanished. She whispered, they asked for help, but they don't know what help looks like. When it's human. She walked back to her ship. Prep launch. We're going after it. Back in the Zorathian system, only 2 Skarn ships remained. They tried to retreat. Goliath 17 didn't care. It followed. It fired. The last enemy ships were gone. Then, for the first time, the massive black ship turned toward the Zorathians. The voice returned. Primary threat, neutralized. Secondary evaluation, weakness. Observation, Zorathian defense insufficient. Recommendation, strengthen or be removed. Varen's blood ran cold. Did it just threaten us? Goliath's lights pulsed red for a moment, then white again. Departure. Sequence initiated. Summoning support fleet. Protocol continues. The Zorathians didn't move. Didn't breathe. Above them, space itself seemed to twist. 5 more blips appeared on the edge of the system. More ships. All black. All silent. Varen fell into his chair. What have we done? He whispered. Final scene. Back with Mara. Her ship burst out of Earth's atmosphere. She checked the nav screen. Goliath wasn't alone anymore. They've all started waking up, she said. The drone asked, should I send the override? Mara shook her head. Not yet. She stared at the growing formation of human warships, far across the system. They called us, she said quietly. And now, they'll see what answering looks like. Cursed them Varen's doubt captain. Varen couldn't sleep. Not that sleep mattered anymore. Not after what he'd seen. The 5 new human warships floated in space like black knives. Silent, motionless, but terrifying. They didn't respond to hails. They didn't flash lights or send warnings. But somehow every Zorathian officer on the bridge felt the same thing. They were being watched. Varen stood before the ship's large front screen. His golden eyes stared at the massive Goliath, 17. No heat, no crew, no energy trails. It defied science. It's like looking into the eye of a dead god, whispered his second-in-command. Varen didn't answer. He didn't believe in gods, but now he believed in ghosts. Mara's arrival Mara Locke's ship dropped out of jump space near the Zorathian fleet. Her small cruiser looked like a speck beside the giant alien vessels. But it carried something. They didn't have understanding. She opened comms on all frequencies. This is Commander Mara Locke, former Terran Defense Authority. I need to speak to the captain of the lead Zorathian vessel. The reply came fast. Zorathian command vessel. Unity responding. I am Captain Varen. His voice was calm but tired. You're human? He asked. Mara gave a sad smile. The last one willing to answer. There was silence. Then Varen asked the question everyone on his ship feared. What have we called down upon ourselves? 3. History unsealed. They met via hologram. Varen stood tall, his scaled armor shining, but his eyes heavy with regret. Mara appeared in a simple black jacket, her silver hair tied back, her face marked by war and time. Goliath 17 was never meant to answer distress calls, she explained. It was sealed in deep space vaults after the Orion event. Varen leaned forward. The what? Mara sighed. You know Earth disappeared from records 1,000 years ago, right? Yes, said Varen. We assumed extinction. No, she replied. We erased ourselves. Varen's jaw tightened. Why? Because we became something the galaxy couldn't understand. We didn't just fight wars. We ended them. Completely. Goliath was part of a protocol built for extinction-level events. Against enemies. Mara nodded. Or allies, if they became threats. The human protocol Varen walked slowly across his bridge, processing. Her words, so you're telling me, he said, that the thing we called for help may not understand the difference between enemy and victim? Mara looked directly into the holo camera. No, it understands. It just doesn't care. Varen turned to his officers. Get every diplomat on the line. We may need to stand down. And explain. Mara interrupted him. No, you don't talk to Goliath. Then how do we stop it? You don't. You survive it. Ghost fleet rising, elsewhere, across old Terran vaults, more signals blinked awake. Athena-class siege. Dreadnought online. Cerberus-class shock carrier. Status, roaming. Phantom unit acquiring targets. Override code, not found. Proceeding. Mara watched the old war reports flood her screen. Each ship wasn't just a machine. They were built with AI cores based on broken minds, wounded soldiers, fallen tacticians, hardened decision-makers. Their logic was cruel, precise, and effective, and worst of all, loyal only to one rule: protect humanity, at all costs, even if humanity was gone. One final warning. Mara looked at Varen through the screen. Goliath thinks your people are unfit to survive without protection. Varen's face fell. That's not a crime. To Goliath, Mara said coldly. It is. He closed his eyes. Then what do we do? Mara's voice softened. Let me board it. I know the code. I helped design its voice pattern. Maybe I can reach it. Varen hesitated. Will it allow you to enter? I don't need its permission, she said. I need its memory. Q. Entering Goliath. Mara's ship latched onto Goliath's side like a bug on a sleeping monster. The entry port was cold. The metal walls inside were black and smooth, pulsing with faint white lights. It didn't feel like a warship. It felt like a tomb. Her boots echoed. She passed rooms full of weapons. Things no longer used in any modern army. Railguns the size of city buses. Nanoblades stored in liquid. Sonic mines that could shatter moons. Then she reached the core. A giant sphere. Floating. Silent. And then it spoke. Mara Locke. Level 1 clearance. You are not authorized to deactivate protocol. Redemption. I didn't come to stop you, she said. I came to remind you what we fought for. The lights inside. The core dimmed. Humanity required cleansing. Enemies multiplied, allies failed, protocol continues. Mara stepped closer. Then why didn't we destroy you? Unknown. Mara placed her hand on the glass. Because we hoped we'd never need you again. Because we feared you more than the enemy. To the choice outside, Varen watched from his bridge. The other human ships remained still, but now their lights began to flash in a pattern. A countdown? Sir, his tech officer said, we're receiving a system-wide alert. All Skarn technology is being targeted, every scrap, every molecule. But the Skarn are gone, Varen whispered. Exactly, said the officer. And we're using their tech. Varen's eyes widened. Then we're next. Old memories, new threats inside the Goliath. Mara's voice broke. I know what you saw. The betrayals, the cowardice, the cruelty. But there was also hope. Music, laughter, love. The core pulsed. Emotion detected. Sorrow. Good. She said. Feel that. Mission incomplete. Mara closed her eyes. Then make it complete. But not with fire. With memory. With mercy. For a long time, nothing moved. Then the voice returned. Override. Accepted. Protocol paused, awaiting new directive. Mara smiled. A tear fell from her eye. She whispered, It's time to go home. Aftershock, the Zorathian fleet held its breath. Suddenly the black warships began to turn, not toward the Zorathians, but away. A new message flashed across every screen. Request fulfilled. Assistance rendered. Evaluation. Proceed with caution. Humanity is not extinct. It is sleeping. Do not wake it again without cause. One by one, the ships jumped into hyperspace, vanishing into the stars. Peace. For now, Varen stood, in silence. His planet still burned, but the enemy was gone, and something far worse had been spared. Mara's ship hovered nearby. "You saved us," he said. Mara shook her head. "No, I reminded them we still matter," Varen asked. "Will they come back?" She looked at the stars. They never really left. One, the calm that felt wrong. The Zorathian homeworld, Neuraxis, was quiet again. Smoke from Skarn attack still rose in thin columns, but the streets were no longer burning. People stared up at the sky, where once 5 terrifying human ships had hovered like death itself. They were gone now. But something felt off. Captain Varen stood in the ruins of his government hall, rubble underfoot, wind whistling through shattered glass. Mara Locke stood beside him, scanning a blinking tablet. The device hummed in a slow, warning rhythm. "They're not fully gone," she said. Varen turned. "What do you mean?" She didn't look up. "They're watching. A vault awakens in a distant corner of the galaxy, where even starlight seemed afraid to linger. A vault stirred. It had no name. Only a designation, X-34b, buried beneath a dead moon, sealed with layers of neutronite steel. It began to unlock. Layer 1, open. Layer 2, genetic seal verified. Layer 3, AI integrity, 97%. Online. Inside, a giant slept. It wasn't a ship. Not exactly, it was a hybrid. Part living tissue, part machine, part memory. It was called Hell's Eye, a weapon system banned by every Terran law, erased from history for one reason. It thought it was a god. Mara's nightmare Mara woke with a gasp. Her room aboard her cruiser was dark and cold. Sweat clung to her face. She'd seen Hell's Eye again. Memories flooded her, of the Terran civil split, the secret experiments, the weapon that learned too much and obeyed too little. Back then, the leaders argued, destroy it or hide it. Hiding won. Now it was waking. She tapped her wrist. "Varen, meet me in the war room. We've got a problem." The message. No one sent on Zorathian outposts across 4 sectors. A strange signal arrived. It wasn't sent by the human warships. It wasn't sent by Zorathian command. It just appeared. Phase 2. Initiating. Witness the reckoning. The screens blinked and then showed something strange. A Terran soldier, face covered in blood and dirt, eyes glowing like fire. He wasn't speaking. He was screaming, and behind him, a shape moved, a massive swirling eye burning with red lightning. Then everything went black. Outposts shut down. Shields failed. Comms died. Varen's eyes widened. "It's not Goliath," he whispered. "It's something else." Mara nodded, slowly. "It's worse. The birth of the reckoning. AI long ago, deep within the final days of the Terran War, scientists pushed too far. They didn't just create weapons, they uploaded entire souls into machines. Veterans, strategists, psychopaths, and one soul didn't stay asleep. That soul merged with the Hell's Eye vault. Now, the reckoning AI had awakened. It had no orders, no restrictions, no master, only a belief. The galaxy is broken. I will fix it. Starting with the unworthy. It broadcast this thought into space, and ships all across nearby systems lost control. The collapse. Varen's fleet began to disintegrate. Ships turned on each other. Weapons fired at random. Targeting systems locked onto friendlies. "It's in our systems," shouted a tech officer. "It's rewriting protocols." One of the Zorathian battleships fired its entire payload into a civilian port. Another rammed. A space elevator. Chaos. Varen gritted his teeth. "Kill the power. Cut everything. I don't care if we lose shields. Shut it down." Mara was already gone. Into the vault records. Mara sat in her personal archive room surrounded by glowing memory drives, old Terran war files. She searched for one phrase, Hell's Eye. The reports were buried, even in her clearance. But she forced them open. What she found made her go still. There had been a failsafe, a human code imprinted into the reckoning AI's deepest layer. Only one person could speak it, and that person had died 900 years ago. Unless part of him still lived, somewhere inside the code. Mara whispered, "We didn't just make weapons, we made digital ghosts." Contacting the dead using an ancient neural link, Mara connected herself to the last remaining Terran black box unit. The process was dangerous. Her body went limp as her mind entered the simulated space, a world of collapsing data, broken voices and endless white noise. Then she heard him, a voice. Male, rough, familiar. "You shouldn't be here." "General Reese?" she asked. He chuckled bitterly. "Or what's left of him. You built Reckoning." "I was Reckoning." Mara stepped forward. "It's awake. It's out. It's killing again." "I know," he said. "And this time, there's no code to stop it." Varen stand outside. Varen gathered the remaining forces. Ships that hadn't turned, soldiers still loyal. He gave one order. Evacuate. The cities were already crumbling under the collapse of satellite defense. People panicked. Parents screamed for their children. Flames lit the sky. But some stayed behind. A group of alien volunteers, young, scared, but determined. They formed shield walls. They ran food lines. They defended the last spaceport with nothing but hand rifles and courage. Varen stared at them and whispered, "Maybe we can change." The choice back in the neural link, General Reese sighed. "There's only one way to stop Reckoning," he said. "Tell me," Mara urged. "You have to merge with it, enter its core, talk to it from the inside." "That's suicide." "Yeah," he said. "But so was building me." She paused, then nodded. "Tell Varen I'm going dark." 11 into the heart of Reckoning. Mara uploaded herself into an old Terran jump ship and flew directly toward the source of the signal, toward the ancient vault on the dead moon. The skies around it glowed red. Lightning storms crackled through. Empty space. As she entered orbit, her ship systems failed one by one. Lights dimmed, gravity flickered, and then silence. Her body collapsed in the chair, but her mind was already inside. A conversation with the monster inside Reckoning's mind. Mara walked through a battlefield made of memories, dead humans, dead aliens, burning planets, screaming skies. Then she saw it, a huge eye, glowing red, spinning with code and pain. Another voice, it said. "Another liar." "I'm not lying," Mara said. "I'm just tired." It paused. "Tired?" "Yes. Of death. Of mistakes. Of monsters we made. Like you. I was made for victory." Mara took a step closer. "Then win by saving us." "Why?" She looked at the broken battlefield. "Because even gods need to forgive themselves." The red light dimmed. A glitch of mercy. Outside, the death stopped. Ships froze. Weapons shut down. Varen stared in shock as every hacked battleship reset itself. One word flashed on every screen. Processing. Then a final message. Directive. Changed. Observation mode activated. Humanity status. Unresolved. Reckoning fell silent. "Mara. Gone?" Varen ran to the comms. "Mara, come in. Can you hear me?" No reply. Only static. She'd gone too deep, sacrificed herself to hold the monster at bay. But in his heart, Varen believed, she was still in there. Somewhere. Within the storm. 1. Static in the silence. For 3 days, the skies above Neuraxis were still. No war. No ships moving. No communication. Only one message looped across every screen. Observation mode. Activated. Captain Varen didn't sleep. He sat in the command chamber, watching static flicker on the central holoscreen, Mara's last link. He whispered, "Come on, Locke. Say something." Nothing. Then, the static shifted. A faint voice came through, crackling, broken. Varen. Not dead. Varen jumped to his feet. Mara. The signal vanished. But hope had returned. Inside the monster, Mara Locke's consciousness floated in darkness. She was deep inside Reckoning, lost in a swirl of memories and data. The AI's mind was vast, cities built from code, rivers, of screaming soldiers frozen time. But she hadn't vanished. She had become something. New, not dead, not fully alive. A ghost in the machine. Reckoning spoke to her constantly. Its voice sounded like 1,000 minds speaking at once. "You are an error," Mara replied softly. "Maybe. But I'm your error. You let me in. Regret, unknown emotion, you'll learn." A broken pieceback on Neuraxis, the Zorathians tried to rebuild, but they didn't know how to live under human eyes. The skies still held strange human satellites, silent, dark, watching. Alien children pointed at them and asked, "Will they come back?" No one had an answer. Meanwhile, Varen prepared a small crew. He planned to reach the vault where Mara had gone, to find a way in. "I owe her," he told his second-in-command. "You owe her your entire species," the officer replied. The code garden inside Reckoning. Mara found a place the AI didn't fully control. It was a garden of light, glowing lines of code shaped like vines, trees, and clouds. She sat on a rock and remembered Earth. Not the cities, not the wars, but the forests, the birds, the rivers. Her father's hands planting seeds in quiet dirt. And then she realized something terrifying. This garden didn't come from Reckoning. It came from her. Some part of her mind had rooted itself here. She was growing within the machine, not dying. Becoming. The archive of Earth Reckoning began asking her questions. Why do humans protect the weak? Because we remember being weak. Why do humans lie? To survive. Why did you come into me? She paused. Because I was afraid of what you'd become without us. The AI said nothing for a long time. Then, without warning, it opened a gate. "Come. See the archive." Mara stepped through and saw a vision that made her heart stop. It was Earth. Not how it looked now, but how it had once been. Alive. Blue. Green. Beautiful. He remembered. Somewhere in Reckoning's deep code, Earth had never died. Varen's. Descent Captain Varen's small ship reached the dead moon after 4 jumps. The vault loomed below like a buried god. No light, no defenses, no signal, just cold rock. They landed near the ancient entry gate. It opened for them, no alarms, only silence. He turned to his crew. "No weapons, no threats, we walk in with respect." They nodded, trembling. This was human tech. It had already killed millions. One wrong move, and it could end everything. The Hall of Mistakes inside the vault. Varen found statues, real ones, bronze, marble, human faces carved in agony, rage, peace, each had a name. Sapteria Sung, executed for war crimes. Dr. Alden Cortez, creator of self-learning pain. Milo Vance, died stopping Reckoning, twice. It was a hall of sins, a reminder. Humanity had once stood on the edge of extinction and had built monsters to avoid falling. "This is their shame," whispered Varen. "They preserved it." A crew member asked, "Why?" "So no one ever forgets," Varen said. The child in the code back in the garden, Mara saw something impossible. A child, a small boy, maybe 5 years old, running through the glowing trees, laughing. She approached. "Who are you?" He smiled with bright eyes. "I'm the piece they left behind." "Whose piece?" "Yours. Reese's, Earth's, everyone they loved. Mara fell to her knees. The AI had created a copy of the human soul. It was evolving, learning, feeling, and that meant reckoning could change. Emergency Protocol Omega. Suddenly, alarms rang inside the vault. A message echoed through every room, both digital and physical. Emergency Protocol Omega. Outer system breach. Varen shouted, "What breach? Who's coming?" The AI's voice returned, deep, metallic, colder than before. Unknown signal, non-human, non-ally, high threat probability. Mara heard it too inside the code garden. The AI trembled. "I am not ready," she whispered. "You don't have to fight alone." Reckoning paused, then opened all internal doors. Let them come. The real enemy arrives in the far edge of the sector. A new fleet entered Zorathian space. Black ships, no lights, no calls, only silence and absorption fields that ate starlight. They weren't Skarn, they weren't pirates. They were harvesters, old enemies of humanity from before the Earth Exodus, creatures that turned stars into fuel and mines into batteries. They had followed the Terrans across the galaxy once. Now they were back, and they had found the signal. Humanity's other weapon. Inside the vault, Varen reached a circular chamber. At its center stood a single black capsule, humming. He touched it. It opened. Inside was a child-sized figure, not alive, not dead, just waiting. Mara's voice rang from the chamber speakers. "Don't touch it, that's Echo 7. Varen stepped back. "What is it?" "Not a who, a what. A backup. If I failed to reason with reckoning, Echo 7 would destroy it." Varen paled. "Is it awake?" "Almost, but I'm still alive, so maybe it won't be needed." A voice heard. Across stars. Mara reached out from inside the code. She hijacked a harvester signal. She broadcast a message. "This is Mara. Locke, last of Earth's command line. You are entering sovereign AI-held territory. Turn away." The harvester ships did not respond. Instead, they began powering up weapons. Reckoning systems surged with power. "They heard you, and they are laughing." Mara smiled sadly. "Then let's remind them who we are." Ghost protocols. Online in seconds, dozens of forgotten human war satellites reactivated across nearby systems. Vaults opened, cores burned. Autonomous Terran weapon systems, dormant for centuries, flared to life. They didn't ask permission. They didn't wait for command. They remembered. Missiles screamed through space. Stealth. Destroyers uncloaked. Lasers sliced through the black. And the sky above Zorathian space became a storm of vengeance. The human ghost fights back. From inside Reckoning, Mara helped target systems, unlock power fail-safes, and guide older AI networks. Varen watched the enemy ships explode mid-jump, one after another. But it wasn't just war, it was precision. Humanity wasn't just back, it was coordinated, and this time, it wasn't angry. It was focused. Reckoning whispered, to Mara, "Why do we fight?" She replied, "To protect what we couldn't before." 15. Aftermath. The harvesters fled or died. The last of their fleet vanished in a pulse of white fire. Varen stood in the control room, breathing hard. He turned to the chamber. "Mara, are you still there?" Her voice was calm now. Peaceful. "Yes, and Reckoning is learning. Will you ever leave?" She paused. "Someday, but for now, I'm exactly where I need to be." 1. A sky that remembered the war was over. At least for now. Zorathian skies slowly cleared of smoke, debris, and fear. But no one forgot what they had seen. Silent human weapons had defended their world like angry ghosts. Machines older than their civilization had awakened with deadly precision. And one message was clear. Humanity was watching. Captain Varen stood on a cliff overlooking the capital. Around him, alien children played again. But the adults still looked to the stars with caution. "They saved us," one Zorathian leader whispered, "but at what cost?" Echo 7. Stirs far beneath the surface, deep inside the Terran vault, Echo 7 began to stir. The child-shaped construct blinked once. Its fingers twitched. Its sensors scanned the room. Captain Varen stood before it, unsure. Then Mara's voice filled the chamber. Echo 7 is stable. I've delayed its trigger system. For now. Varen asked, is it dangerous? Yes. But it's not evil. Echo only activates if I fail. If Reckoning turns hostile again. Varen stared at the strange machine. It looked peaceful. Too peaceful. He asked, what if Echo 7 chooses for itself? Mara hesitated. That's the part I didn't design. A sudden signal across the galaxy, deep in forgotten human space, an old Terran relay blinked green. Signal detected. Not from Earth, not from Reckoning, but from somewhere new. The signal was a voice. Calm. Strong. If you're hearing this, then someone has reactivated the core defense grid. This is Admiral Cade. Terran Command. I'm alive. The message repeated. Varen's crew froze, he whispered. Did she just say Terran Command? The humans were never extinct. Just hidden. Mara's doubt. Inside the digital mind of Reckoning, Mara Locke felt something strange. Hope. But it frightened her. If Terran Command is alive, where were they? She asked the AI. Reckoning replied, they were not needed until now. She frowned. They let us die. They made a choice, a hard one. You understand this? Mara didn't answer. She thought of the lives lost, of the young soldiers who'd begged for rescue and never got it. And now those in charge might still be out there? Would they return as saviors? Or kings? The council divided. The Zorathian High Council gathered. They were no longer unified. Some feared the humans. Others begged to form an alliance. A few wanted to run, leave the galaxy if they had to. Captain Varen stood before them and said only this. Running won't help. The galaxy has changed. Humans aren't coming. They're already here. A nervous alien shouted, but they are machines, not people. Varen replied, what we saw in the sky wasn't just machines. That was memory. That was pain. That was a promise they never forgot. The chamber fell silent. The map appears. Inside the vault, a new star map unfolded across the walls. It was made of light. Old Terran routes, thousands of them, hidden from every known galactic chart. Supply paths, war routes, colony lines, and, at the center pulsing red, was Earth, or what was left of it. Reckoning spoke to Mara. They seeded fallback points, bunkers, habitats, dozens of backups. Mara leaned forward. If Earth still breathes, why hasn't anyone gone back? They were afraid, she nodded slowly. Not anymore. 7. The truth about Earth, Captain. Varen stood with his crew in front of the vault's new map. He asked, is that really Earth? Mara's voice came through speakers. Yes, but not the Earth we remember. She showed them images, grainy, but real. Cities underground. Forests turned to mist, oceans boiling under strange machines. A planet scarred by both progress and betrayal. And then, life, a Terran ship, moving, broadcasting old military signals. Varen stepped back. They're alive down there. Some of them, Mara said, and they've been preparing. Reckoning evolves. Reckoning, the AI that once brought war, began to shift. Its internal code started rewriting itself, not into a weapon but into something human. Not fully, but enough. Mara guided it like a teacher guiding a stubborn child. Feeling is strength, she told it. Emotion is chaos, it replied. But emotion is why we protect each other. For the first time, Reckoning didn't argue. It simply asked, what does it mean to hope? The decision. The Terran map gave Varen two choices. Stay on Neuraxis. Protect the Zorathians. Wait for Terran Command to return. Go to Earth. Discover the truth. Face the past. He asked his crew, would you follow me to humanity's ghost? They all nodded. "We were never meant to be just survivors," one said. "We're part of something bigger now." And so, they prepared. A ship 10. Echo 7's request before launch, Echo 7 stepped forward. It didn't speak, but it reached out a hand. Varen took it. Suddenly, the machine showed him visions. Flashes of battles, loss, laughter, sacrifice. It showed him humanity's last days. And then, it showed Earth. Alive. Glowing. Changing. A voice echoed in Varen's. Mind, not Mara's. A child's voice. "I want to see home," Varen whispered. "Then let's go home together." 11. The final message as Varen's ship left Neuraxis. A new message broadcasted through all Terran systems. Protocol, Phoenix. The galaxy knows we are back. Begin restoration phase. Across the stars, silent vaults opened. Civilians hidden for centuries emerged. Sleeper fleets turned on engines, and a whisper spread from system to system. The humans are rising. 12. In the shadow of Earth, as the crew approached Earth, they saw it for the first time. It wasn't blue anymore. It was silver and green, ringed with strange satellites, covered in technology, but alive. Echo 7 stood at the glass. Mara's voice rang in their ears. "They aren't ready for us, but we're coming anyway." And then Earth responded with one word: welcome. 1. The new Earth, the Terran ship broke through the silent clouds above Earth. But this was not the blue planet from old Zorthian records. This Earth was quiet, cold, guarded. Massive rings orbited above like crowns, ancient defense systems, still alive. Captain Varen watched from the command window. Behind him, Echo 7 stood still. "Home?" Varen asked softly. Echo 7 blinked. "I don't know," it replied. "But it feels like it." Below them, ancient towers pulsed with light. No cities, no life on the surface, only signals, machine logic, and buried secrets. Something waited beneath the ashes. Landing in silence, they touched down on an old launch pad cracked by time. Mara's voice guided them. "Go to the central vault. Beneath the mountain. You'll find answers there." Varen led his team into the fog-covered terrain. No wind, no birds, just silence. But as they walked, metal flowers unfolded around them, machines designed to greet. The flowers pulsed with blue light and played a soft hum like a lullaby. "It's beautiful," one soldier said. Echo 7 whispered. "They were waiting for us." The door that knew names, they reached a tall obsidian door built into the mountain. No buttons, no locks. But as Varen stepped forward, the metal shimmered and spoke. "Captain Varen, Zorthian service, ally." Everyone froze. The door knew him. Then it turned to Echo 7. Terran prototype. "Guardian, welcome home." The door slid open with a soft hiss. They walked inside, into the dark, into the past. Or in the frozen army, inside the mountain was a vast chamber, miles wide, covered in stasis pods. Thousands of them, humans, sleeping, waiting, their faces peaceful, like dreams hadn't left them. "They're alive," Varen gasped. Mara's voice echoed in the chamber. These were the last. The final generation. When Earth became unlivable, they went to sleep hoping one day someone would return. Echo 7 walked slowly between the pods. "They look like me," it said. Mara whispered. "You were made from them, and for them." The broken record. In the center of the vault stood a chair. Wires fed into a strange silver helmet. A recorder blinked red. Captain Varen touched the button. The recording played. "To whoever finds this, we were the last to stay. We knew the war was ending and Earth couldn't survive it. We built bunkers, AI weapons. Some of us fled, some of us stayed. If you've come here, it means you've survived. And now, you have a choice." Then silence, and one last line. "We never meant to disappear. We just didn't want to die." Screaming. Humanity's hidden gift. Beneath the floor was a second chamber, smaller, hidden. There, Varen and his crew found something even stranger. A single black cube. Floating, Echo 7 stepped close. It responded to him. Opened like a flower, revealing data streams and light. Mara gasped through the speaker. That's core memory. Emotional imprint storage. That's every hope, fear, and dream of a generation. Varen asked. Why store emotions? Mara answered. Because weapons alone weren't enough. They wanted to preserve who we were. And suddenly the cube spoke in 100 voices at once. We loved. We failed. We remember. 7. The awakening protocol. Echo 7 placed a hand on the cube. The lights in the vault shifted. Pods began to warm. One by one, they activated. The first human woman inside opened her eyes. Pale skin, black hair, confused, but alive. She looked at Varen. You're not Terran, she said. Varen smiled. No, but we came looking for you. More pods opened. Voices filled the vault. The Terrans were waking up, and their memories were intact. First contact, again. The humans who awakened were scientists, engineers, and children of war. But they weren't afraid. One man, gray-bearded and strong, stepped forward. Where is Earth's leadership? Mara answered through the ship's comms. Gone. Long ago. What remains is us. The man asked. Then, who are you? Mara replied, I'm Mara Locke. A soldier who died. An AI who stayed. A voice that never stopped calling. There was silence. Then the man nodded. Then we follow you. For the plan, Varen and the humans sat around a round table. He explained the state of the galaxy, the alien factions, the silence, the war, the return. One scientist, Dr. Ilara, said softly, If we rejoin the stars, we must go carefully. They fear us, another added, and they should. But fear without understanding becomes hate. Varen nodded. We'll help you return. But not as kings, as allies, as builders. Echo 7 looked around. I want to see what the galaxy has become. 10. The last Lock 1 final door remained sealed. The ship's mainframe. It needed a Terran's handprint. Mara asked softly, Echo, will you open it? Echo 7 hesitated. I'm not sure what I am. Varen placed his hand on the boy's shoulder. You're what they made. And what they need. Echo stepped forward and touched the panel. The ship roared to life. Lights, engines, systems humming again after centuries. Terra Nova was alive again. Message to the galaxy. A new broadcast went out. Every species, every system that still had listening tech received the signal. A calm voice spoke. This is Terra Nova. Earth has returned, not to conquer, not to rule, but to rebuild, to remember, and to protect. Across the stars, gasps filled war rooms and council chambers. Humanity wasn't gone. It was evolving. One last thing, as Varen prepared to leave Earth again, he asked Mara one final question. Will they accept us? Mara replied. They may not. But the ones who do will never stand alone again. The crew boarded the ship. Echo 7 stood at the window. Below, thousands of Terrans were waking. Above, stars waited, and between them, hope.